Newest entry into the Conjuring franchise. Is this going to be as good as Annabelle Creation or just as terrible as the first Annabelle film? Well, let's get into this, shall we? What's going on, everybody? So, as you can see, I got a new movie review for you today. We're going to be talking about the latest film to enter into the scariest franchise out there, the Conjuring franchise, and that is The Nun. And The Nun is exactly and precisely what it is about, and what you can tell from the title. It is essentially the origin of Valek. It's the origin of that really creepy nun that we got introduced to in The Conjuring 2. And this movie had a few things going for it. I mean, I didn't downright hate the movie like a lot of people have. I mean, you look online and people are just bashing on this darn thing. But for me personally, I felt it was kind of 50-50 and a little bit of a mixed bag, because for everything I liked about The Nun, there was always something that I hated. But let's get into the positives. First of all, Taissa Farmiga, who plays one of the nuns in this movie, the main one that we follow throughout, and Vera Farmiga's sister, she's the main character we follow throughout here, and I thought she did a fairly decent job. Also, the acting in the film I thought was fine for the most part. And the scares. Let's talk about this, because the atmosphere in this movie, it's the best part of it, in my personal opinion. The atmosphere is tense, it's thick, it's just the kind of atmosphere you want from a movie like this. Just a really, really intense situation where you're looking around corners, you don't know what's going to be happening in the next scene. Unfortunately, though, the movie isn't all that scary, and when it tries to be scary, there's just way too many jump scares. And jump scares is a bigger problem, but I'll get to that in a sec. I also was intrigued by the fact that the director of this film decided to make this less scary and more like a fun haunted house kind of film. I mean, it's definitely the least scary film out of the entirety of the Conjuring film, but it is more fun than I think any of the films inside of the Conjuring universe. Annabelle Creation I thought was pretty fun. I think The Nun is more fun only because of that haunted house element, because this whole thing takes place in a giant Roman Catholic building, and honestly, you can do a lot with that, and the director certainly did do a lot with that. Honestly, though, when it comes down to The Nun, my biggest problem that I have with the movie is the fact that it doesn't feel special, it doesn't feel unique, it doesn't feel like it's adding anything new to the Conjuring universe. I mean, you take a movie like Annabelle Creation. That's a film that, although it didn't add a lot, it did add some mystery, it did add a new and really horrific element to deal with Annabelle and how she was created. When it comes to The Nun, I didn't exactly feel as though we were getting a true origin story when it comes to that demonic creature. I didn't feel like, as she was introduced, we were actually getting something new that was going to tell this story in a really interesting way. I mean, this movie is just really cliche across the board, and it was really, really disappointing. Also, when the atmosphere isn't thick and trying to envelop you and it isn't really, really great, the movie is it's just kind of boring. The pacing in the movie was very slow. This film just wasn't unique. That's the basis of this. Now, did the movie have to be super original and unique to win me over? No. A movie doesn't need to be super unique and original to win me over. But there were so many other elements in the film that were a mess for me. The characters, for another thing. While I like Taissa Farmiga in the role, it's just one of those things where none of the characters are truly memorable. None of them stick out. None of them are like Ed and Lorraine Warren that we got from the first couple of Conjuring films, which there's a pretty cool tie-in from The Nun into the Conjuring films, so that is definitely worth checking this film out for that little tie-in. But honestly, this film as a whole, guys, I gotta think about this for a couple more days, but as of right now, because of the 50-50 nature of it, I can still recommend this to you, because like I said, I thought it was pretty fun. There was a little bit of mystery to it, and it's just a fun haunted house movie. But if you expect more than that going into it, you're going to be severely disappointed. So at the end of the day, with all of that said, the haunted house movie that is The Nun is a casual watch. And guys, I really have to apologize for not getting a Thank You Thursday video up this week. I'm going to have to prepare for that next week because this week, first week of school just got started up and I have been through my mind busy. I've just been going... It's just been a continuous process and I just have not had time between schoolwork and school and work and everything in between. It's just been incredibly busy. But guys, thank you so much. You mean so much to me. You guys know you do. And even though I didn't do a Thank You Thursday video this week, you should know that. But as always, guys, it is what you say that matters. So whatever your thoughts are on the Nun, good, bad, otherwise, or indifferent, if you haven't seen it, leave those down in the comment section below. Let's get that conversation started. And if you want to get in contact with me, social media links are up there. Sweet Film Podcast is right over there with my buddy Zach Pope. And my other 2018 reviews are right up there. So be sure to check all of those out. And of course, if you like what you've seen here and you want to see more, click right there and subscribe and become part of the fray of nerds who love cinema. You all have a fantastic day.